Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I've got something special for you. TeamShineForce.com's rolling out. Sign up for the newsletter to stay up to date with all the exclusive content rolling out this season. Thanks for watching. Stay shiny. Take a seat. Oh yeah. Good to see you.
Cool. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on Instagram and stuff like that too?
Yeah, so my Instagram page is rampage_BJJ. Yeah, majority Jiu-Jitsu content, but yeah, Jiu-Jitsu and yoga.
Cool. So how long have you been doing Jiu-Jitsu?
I've been training for 3 years. Yeah.
What's some of the biggest challenges that you're facing?
I guess like Jiu-Jitsu is just hard. Yeah. So I mean, it's never ending as far as like the learning curve. So I don't believe that like anyone has ever mastered like Jiu-Jitsu. So just because there's so many variables, so that's what, like it's engaging like physically, mentally, like every bit.
So what's some of your strengths? I know, like, I mean, we've known each other for a while. I mean, I haven't worked alongside you in a long time, but I remember, you know, we were both in management, right?
Yeah.
10 years ago or something like that. And you always have a very calm demeanor about you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know you kind of mentioned that it's a matter of strength training and, like, mental strength. Like, what are some of your personal strengths that you think that you bring into the mat?
Yeah, I think like I've progressed so far like quickly because I pick up technique pretty fast. I guess like my memorization skills or like my visual memorization skills are good. So I'm able to like see something and perform it usually. And then like performing and then translating that to performing it live as well. And then I would say like you said, my calm demeanor.
Yeah.
Like in a stressful situation, like competing, you have to stay pretty calm. You have to listen to like your coaches and be able to like
in the act of
like a stressful situation where someone is also trying to like submit you or choke you, armbar,
So do you think that like your calmness kind of throws off your opponent sometimes, that you keep that composure so well?
I don't know if it does. I think everyone's kind of like so in the like when you hit the mat and like you compete, like that's all that matters. And so I don't know if like they notice my composure, but I think like my composure helps me in situations where if I'm like in a bad position, I'm able to like escape and get out and like be calm, or in situations where normally some people might panic or
So that muscle memory kind of comes in.
Yeah.
So now you're almost kind of doing the transition into mixed martial arts.
MMA, which is like full contact punching, kicking, jiu-jitsu, with the small gloves.
What are some of the challenges that you're seeing in that kind of transition into learning the different?
I mean, obviously, like jiu-jitsu, it changes your game when there's punching, kicking, like when there's striking involved. Because you have to protect yourself a little bit differently when your game changes.
Because it's more of a ground game with the focus of jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, it's more grappling, so there's no striking.
Okay.
So when you're getting punched in the face, it can change the outcome of your jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
So who's some of your mentors in the industry? There's some people that you look up to?
Yeah, my professor, Sean Stewart, is been absolutely incredible in my like training and coaching, and then my professor Don Westman, they're both like insanely like articulate in their like in their coaching and their like expression and like how to do something. So like I just am able to like pick it up really quickly. They're also super motivating. When I was at like my worst and my heaviest, like they didn't really care about that. All they cared about was like, okay, my ability on the mat and what I'm doing at that moment. So that's always super like helpful in that situation, like where, you know, it was like the first time in my life I didn't think about like my weight, you know, I just thought about my ability on the mat, and like that's what they were there for, and just keep me focused. And they would pick up, they're also amazing people outside the gym too. They would pick anything up, drop anything to help you out, like as far as like, you know, traveling, like even if my professors aren't competing, they would travel with me just to go coach me and like make sure that they were there for support.
Make sure you get the most out of every situation.
So, and then also like just even as far as life situations as well, like if you needed to move in a 5-minute like notice, like they were like, you have to get out of this house, like they would drop everything that they had to come help you. Like that's just the kind of people they are.
It's priceless, isn't it?
And then my professor Terry Stewart too, she is also like been like a huge part of like our female presence at the gym too. So I think just having like strong women is super important, just because like it can be pretty intimidating, you know, coming in and finding like your comfortability in doing like something like jiu-jitsu with majority men. It's like 90% men, 10% women.
Well, I got to tell you, and it's coming from the bottom of my heart, it's very inspiring to see you do what you do, and like to see you continue to put yourself out there on, you know, posting content. I know it's kind of vulnerable. How did you get inspired to start sharing a little bit about what you're doing?
You know, I think like the jiu-jitsu community in general, like people just genuinely care about how well you're doing, or how like what kind of struggles you have, like that other people still face as well. You know, just like kind of finding like you know, relatability. Like the jiu-jitsu community is pretty small and like tight knit, even though like there's like hundreds of thousands of practitioners, you know, possibly millions, I don't know, around the world. Like just finding like the relatability and stuff. I think that's like my reasoning for posting stuff like that, and just like to encourage others to try it. And, you know, I think my biggest I think goal as far as like posting content and stuff is just to get more women to train.
Do you think you'll ever step out to the role of maybe like teaching other people?
Yeah, I think so. I think but like honestly though, like teaching is a pretty like skill in itself. Like sometimes people can do something and like absolutely not teach it. But I definitely taught jiu-jitsu classes before, and I enjoy it. You know, just what's successful for you might not be something that like has worked for somebody else in the past, and like teaching, you know, your game is always like empowering, I guess.
So what's there's got to be like something that keeps you like so excited about it. Like, is it the winning, obviously, or is it
obviously the winning. That helps. Like losing sucks, but I honestly like nothing will drive you more than losing. So if you're like, no, that's not happening. That's not gonna happen.
You can't tuck your tail. And
Some people do though, and like that's what's so like devastating is like, you know, no matter how many wins and like successful moments I've posted on social media, like there's been a lot of failing moments and a lot of like failure that like, you know, people just don't see, and the hard work and the grind that you put into like finding like what is successful for you, you know. So I think driving me is like the challenge, and then I'm a very competitive person at nature, so I think that also helps.
But you keep it kind of tight. You're not like, I mean, I've never kind of viewed you as a person that's very like me, who likes the attention a little bit more. You just kind of hum along at your pace, and you just kind of like even keel. And I don't know, it's pretty inspiring.
Thank you.
You know, I know there's ups and downs to what you're doing, and it takes dedication and consistency and discipline. And you know, if
you don't stay level-headed, you can kind of like, and you don't keep ego off the mat, like that's when you see a lot more failure and like people quitting and stuff. And so I just find it like like with how much time and effort I put onto the mat, like I couldn't imagine leaving that. You know what I mean? Like
you come this far.
it's like you're committed.
Yeah,
you know,
you're in the game.
like to give up, you're like that would be like insanity. So.
Where's your dream venue to fight? Like, what place in the world would be your like dream match?
I mean, I don't know. I've never really thought about that. I mean, I guess like.
You traveled quite a bit.
Yeah, I've traveled a lot. Yeah. I just went to Philly to compete, and like I went to this really cool. I competed at Fight to Win, like the pro.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
I was watching some of that on Instagram.
And the venue they had it at was like this cool like warehouse, like it was like a very like vintage looking like venue, kind of like Coliseum style,
Okay.
but like very much smaller.
Yeah.
And Philly as a city is just like so freaking cool. So
Yeah.
I will say that's been my favorite place to like compete so far.
That rocky aspect of it. Did
Yeah.
you go to the stairs and do the run?
No. No, but it was just fun, and like definitely my favorite city so far to go to. Yeah, I think. Well, I did have a plan this year to go. We had a trip scheduled to Italy to do the European Nogi Championship, and it obviously got canceled due to COVID. But so that's been like a dream of mine, honestly. And I actually had it happening, but it didn't quite connect the dots this year. But it's not saying it can't happen.
Yeah. What's the silver lining for you in 2020? What's been the silver lining that's kind of like, hey, so bad after all?
Yeah, I think just like, you know, with everything going on, it's like kind of staying like more focused on like, okay, like how can I still live life, you know what I mean, around the situation that we're in, has been kind of a silver lining, like, you know, just creating as much normalcy as possible. And, you know, I think that's helped me and my family the most, is just finding some normalcy. I luckily have a gym that is like, you know, I mean, they're all very smart. They're not out like trying to like, you know, catch COVID and spread it around the gym and like all this stuff. You know, they're all very smart, and you know, I think that we have, you know, created such like a tight-knit community. We found like a close group of people that train together and like keep it, you know, as sanitary as possible.
Keep
and
your bubble tight.
Yeah, keep the bubble tight. But I'm just thankful for that Jiu-Jitsu is still around. You know, a lot of gyms closed during this time, which is very sad.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of devastating as far as like how it affected people in their lives. So I've been very blessed to have a gym that stayed alive. Yeah. And it's kind of like scary to think like something like this, like a pandemic like this, could kill something like Jiu-Jitsu and a contact sport.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as we're being safe, you know, taking the protocols. Can you speak to a little bit about like what the experience was, you know, leading up to the Fight to Win experience, and what the protocols kind of were leading up? Did you have to kind of self-quarantine leading up to that fight? Or?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, like they do temperature checks. You can't like you have to wear a mask until you walk onto the stage. You know, it's definitely still like same COVID restrictions. You know, if you have any symptoms, there's just no possible way that you can even like fly or compete or anything like that. So, and then on like coming back to quarantine for a little bit just to make sure, you know, you're not sick or spreading it around the gym, all that stuff.
What was the biggest surprise about Philly that you were like, okay, Philly ain't so bad?
Yeah, I mean that they were just open.
The people? Oh, just the
Just the
community?
city, yeah. Like, I mean, it just was like COVID wasn't even a thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, as far as like, they still wore masks, but like the city was just like popping. When I went to Austin, it was dead. Like, there was nobody else, which is crazy. You would think Texas was more crazy. Like Texas was actually, Austin was more shut down than Philly.
It's kind of like our border out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So.
how do you feel? How do you feel?
Amazing. This is like a pampering session, like, you know, that I don't usually get. So, yeah.
What would you tell one of the viewers today that maybe kind of struggling to keep that discipline in whatever they're trying to achieve in life, or keeping that focus?
Yeah, I would say find something that like you can connect to, as far as like a community. Like I noticed like when I was just working out at the gym and stuff, like there was just nothing that like kept me there, because it was just like me and my own, like, I guess, like your own drive sometimes is just not enough. So I think finding something that like you can actually like hold on to, like people around, surround yourself with people that do kind of the same things and have the same goals in mind. It kind of like makes you held accountable for situations, and like and like your progress, and that know your goals, like share them. That's also a lot of the reason why I share them on Instagram and stuff, is because I'm held accountable if I post something like that, and then everyone sees it, and then if I just like totally fail, like that's pretty crappy, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
Your integrity is
integrity, yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, but I obviously found that at Jiu-Jitsu Colorado Satori, so they just changed their name. It was Colorado Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Stapleton, but Stapleton changed their name. So
oh yeah, Central Park.
yeah. So but ours is Satori, or Jiu-Jitsu Colorado Satori, which means inclusive. So
Okay, cool.
it's kind of cool.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you being here today. Thanks for letting me give you the roll treatment. Good to see you as well.
Yeah.
And everybody, check her out at
Rampage_BJJ.
That's right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Instagram. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. Sounds good.
That was easy, huh?
Yeah. Super easy.
Not too hard.
Yeah. My boots look good.
Yeah.